Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are setting up my school year insert for 2nd grade. If you're familiar with my memory keeping for the school year, I use the Heidi Swap memory keeping, the storyline chapters product line. So it includes like these binders that hold by post, and then you're able to put in little inserts that she offers. I've done it for preschool, VPK, kindergarten, and 1st grade, and now we've started 2nd grade. These are all up on my channel. There are process videos to starting all of them and setting them up, and then there are videos on what stories are in these inserts. So here's the pre-K one, and all of them have a window. So this is what we're kind of setting up. We're kind of setting up this window idea. Here was VPK the following year and some sort of embellishment that goes with it. For kindergarten, we've done something similar. There's always a window and then the embellishment. And then last year's 1st grade one, we also have the cutout. So I'm definitely trying to do a cutout again and decorating inside and setting this up, and then kind of getting into the first story about school supplies and meet the teacher and things like that. So I have this kind of theme we're trying to replicate again. So for the inserts I previously had, I'm not sure what these were called, but they just kind of looked almost like canvas paper. They were just blank inserts. And so I have a new set of inserts that I must have purchased a different set, because these three, this one with the butterflies came with dot grid, if you can see it, and then the yellow one is grid. I forgot what this set was called, and then this one is the blank one. And so don't get me wrong, I kind of like the grid, I'm not gonna lie. And not to say like I don't like the dot grid, but this, I know it doesn't pick up on camera, but it's really dark. It's like a really dark, you know, grid. And so I'm having trouble. I was like, because you can definitely see it. Like, I know it's definitely not picking up on camera, like as harsh it as it is. But it's kind of harsh. I kind of really don't like the dot grid of this. I can get down with the grid though. I kind of like the grid. And of course I like this one. So I just don't know if they still sell these inserts. The storyline chapters is my problem. So I'm kind of feeling like, should I just use the blank one and keep it consistent and see if I can find them, or still give like the grid a chance, because I feel like I can do the grid and then save this one like for next year and hopefully figure out another system, because I do have one more binder. So these two will go in that binder. So 2nd and 3rd grade, and then 4th grade, either figure out a similar insert for it or a new system completely, because I think Heidi Swap storyline chapters is getting discontinued, if I am correct, but I don't know for sure. So let's go with the grid. I think I can, let's like venture out and do the grid and see if it works good. Okay, so we have the notebook. I printed my full page photo that will go inside here for first day of school, 2nd grade. We will cut out the window. That's what we're going to do. And then to mat that, we're going to be playing with the season pass collection from Layle By Mail. So it had a school themed with summer. So I love this pencil one, and I love the ruler one, but the pencil one I love. And then I want to cut up a few of these. So these will be my embellishments. So look, the school with the pencils, back to routine, you make the world brighter, the book bag. I love all of these. So we're going to cut some of these down, and we're going to use this one as the backing. I just love the colors. And we're going to start with that portion of it. Okay, so let's get started. And actually what I also have pulled on my desk are 2 different size letters, because I just don't know. I think this is the one I used last year, the L Studio one. For 2nd grade, we have to find out somehow to cut out letters for it. So that's why these are on my desk, okay? And the photos are for there. So first step, let's see where this will be so I can cut out a window. And then we'll go from there with the cutting, because it's going to be something like right in there, and we'll get started. Okay, let's begin. So honestly guys, when I do the window, this is not an accurate thing. This is not something that is too crazy. I literally kind of guesstimate where her face is and kind of go with it. The thing that is key is that T-square ruler when you're using your X-Acto knife. So here was my first attempt, and then I'm just going in and making it a little bit wider. That's all that I was changing on it. And thankfully on the cover of this, it kind of is a grid, so I was able to find some like demarcation lines on the actual pattern that I could go with, and using that T-square ruler got it done. Now this is always the first step, and even now in this one, I still forgot the classic step I always do, because when you put um the this clear part, right? So do what I say right now. Please cut out the hole for the paper that's going to be the decorative one on top, because you want that hole exposed so that you can have it fit exactly. And this is the step that I skipped, and I didn't want to ruin that little pocket that I already made. And here I am with my pattern paper, and I'm already realizing, okay, I cut for the size, and then I'm like, oh snap, I already covered it up, and now I don't have the hole marking, so I'm going to have to guess where the hole is too. Now, luckily, I have, very delicate fingertips, and I was able to kind of get the top, bottom, and edges of it and sort of guess. See, this is exactly where I was just like, oh, I should have had it, like, so I'm just feeling for the corners, marking the corners, and we're just going with the T-square ruler and connecting those corners. And for the most part, it did work out just fine. I think in one area, I do go back and make it a little bit thinner, just because you see it through the window itself, and you'll see it brief, like very faintly. You can see it like on the top and on the right side. It was a little bit over, and so I'm just taking a smidge off. Here I am, a smidge. Just needs smidges off, and then for the most part, it wasn't seen. But I was just like, ugh. Like I think the first year, obviously, I did this mistake. The second year, I was good. I think third year, I still remembered it, and now I did it again. So it's always one of those little little mini mistakes I do, but it's not the end of the world. We can still move on. So I did mention that this collection, the papers that I'm using, is all from Layle By Mail. This is her season pass collection, and part of the collection, while having the last bits of summer project cards and papers, also had like 3 or 4 pages that can be used for back to school. Which is great. I think it's actually a smart way to go about your collection, so that you're not just stuck on having a whole entire summer collection or a whole entire fall collection. Like, you're paying nod to, or you notice to, the things that are coming up in the upcoming months. So if people buy this quarterly, it can definitely get you to tell stories across a few months of storytelling. So you saw me cut up the last of the rulers, and I decorated one on my big photo. Violet always smiled. My daughter is great with smiling for me for these back to school photos. I always get 1 or 2 good ones that are worth printing, and the other ones are her just appeasing me, hold it this way, hold it that way, hold your book bag, kind of moments. But I always get to print a good 1 or 2. So yeah, and then the other picture is Daddy and us going to meet the teacher, which was the Friday before the Monday that school started already. So I always like to include photos with Daddy when I can, just because sometimes he does miss the school things, because he works those late nights for us at our clinic, and then I am the one taking her to all the school functions in the afternoon. So when Daddy attends, I definitely print the picture with the Daddy in it, so that she's always aware that she has two loving parents that attend all of the functions for her. So these tiny word stickers are also part of the kit, and you saw me make the 4x6 card into a flap. I used like scraps of sticker paper that I usually keep once I cut out like my journaling areas from other full pages of journaling. I always have the scraps, and so I keep them on my desk, and actually it's a great way to make a hinge. Granted, I have no problem using like white paper either for, like a 1 inch and then fold it in half, and it makes the flap for these cards. But using the clear sticker paper, I forgot who I saw it from, and it's like, I do it now all the time, naturally, just because it's clear and it's great. And so it doesn't, interfere with any of the paper that you're using, and having a white border. So these little icons too are from the kit. I had them sitting around, and I was like, oh, I can use them on photos. And then I just kind of bouqueted them into a little burst in a corner, and it kind of worked out quite well right there. So now this portion is decorating the cover, and I always go for something floral, and I do not have a lack of florals in my collection. My collection of florals is extensive. So I literally pulled out, honestly, like 5 different sets, and I pulled out anything that could go well with this like marigold yellow golden color, so because obviously it's a color that won't go with all collection types, and I auditioned out quite a few, And then this collection that I'm, after auditioning all of them, is the one I'm showing you the footage of, because you don't need to see me with all the decision making and pulling out hundreds of flowers and pushing them to the side and keep it going. The colors did have this marigold color in it, and so it made it quite easily to select this one. And this one is from Bungalow Lane from Paige Evans. You know, Bungalow Lane is not a current kit, but I have so, like I said, anytime there's flowers, I've already learned, like in the beginning I'd only buy one pack of the floral embellishments and then hoard it, or you know, be disappointed when I finished it all and then didn't have any more florals to use with the collection. Now in my, you know, scrapbook supplying you know, genre of life that I am, I literally buy 2 and sometimes 3 packs of just the flowers. Like, just add to cart, 3 packs, it's good. And we go from there. So that's what I had probably done with this pack, and it was just an extra one. Or also sometimes with these former collections, I did get lucky at Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning it could have been picked up at. And so I did go with the Alpha that is from Elle Studio. This one was the one I used last year. So just to keep it consistent, I just know it fits the area perfectly from left to right. You know, just changing out the number and the grade. And I did it on like a hunter green cardstock, which went well with the rest of the motifs. I think all of them have always been just black cardstock, which is fine. I just wanted to change it up a little bit, and having it be dark green was the exact change that it needed to be. And I'm just gluing it on. I'm not sure. I think I used my Nuvo liquid glue for this. Any glue, any liquid glue would have been fine. I actually might even, am I using double-sided tape? I don't think I'm using double-sided tape, but I am using liquid glue. And so it just takes the process. It guarantees the letters don't leave my page. And that will finish up the beginning of 2nd grade insert for this storyline chapters system from Heidi Swapp. Okay, and that will wrap it up. There's that hunter green for the 2nd grade, the flowers, the window, the burst of these school supplies, the ruler. I really love how that turned out. And then on this side, we have the cards. I did go in and stamp from the Glimmers too. There's a little sentiment. Let it focus. Of course, it's not going to focus. Come on. There you go. Okay, it says something about this moment. And then I did a brighter day. A day brighter. No, a day brightener. Yeah. Sorry. So my journaling will go here, and then we will... And then we will have more journaling under here. And then I have her 2nd grade first classroom photo and the school supply list. So we will continue on. And look, I'm already making a list of skincare and makeup era is the first story that we will tell, because has a collection of lip gloss, lip balm, and everything. And then also I need to talk about... And then also I need to talk about the K-pop Demon Hunters. We are loving it. So those are 2 upcoming stories for here. But to finish this off and get this video up for you, let's end it right there. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give this video a thumbs up. And until next time, everyone, bye.